Hey guys, it's Eric.
It's Tim.
We are D&D Miniature and Board Games. So we got invited down here to Discover Games to try out this new game called Gangs of Rome. We got to experience a few demo versions of the game where you take one fighter against one fighter. We're named mobs involved yet, but just to give us a basic
Understand the, gist of the game.
gist of the game. I like the gist of the game.
Yeah, gist of the game.
For those of you who don't know, we do score on a 1 to 5 scoring, 3 being average, 5 being outstanding, 1 being horrible. We do graphics and artwork,
Rulebook,
components,
replayability.
and overall fun. Tim always takes graphics and artwork. It's his driving point, or if he likes the game.
That's because I'm a simpleton and, shiny things attract me.
So what did you give?
I believe it or not, I have not seen the packaging of this, but I have seen the rule books and the secondary book that came with it. And from what I see, that and the cards as well, pretty darn good. I gave it a 4.
I as well gave it a 4. But one of the key points of, because the rulebook is basic, and it's really, the cards are a nice print with Roman numerals, nice coloring, easy to read.
Good stock.
Yeah, but one of the driving points on the 4 was in the rulebook. Nice, colorful pictures, printed. All the miniatures were painted.
Well, they were printed too.
Yes, all the miniatures were painted, and the pictures they put on there looked really, really nice. Which, since we're talking about rulebook, we'll roll into that. I gave the rulebook a 4 as well. Like I said, it flows really well. It's pretty straightforward. It's not a complicated read. One of the reasons that brought it up from a basic was it does have a good index and it does have a good quick reference at the back. But with this game, once you really figure it out, I don't even know if you need the quick reference, but it's a nice touch.
Yeah, I could totally see that. It's a rule book. I gave it a 3.
Shocker. Components. I gave components a 4. I found the figures very basic. They're not bad. And I've heard good things about the company if they find out there's too much flashing on the figure or the figure's damaged. Even if they see a picture of it, they'll contact the person and send them a new figure.
Now, to mention, these are not resin. These are
pewter.
Yeah, these are pewter. So it's a different
Type of mold.
Yeah, it's a different type of mold, different type of put-togethers and everything like that. But we also didn't get to see a huge variety. This is a game that you don't get.
Well, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong on the mobs. For some reason, I want to say there's 6 different mobs and 10 different fighters. But the fighters each pack has like 3 different heads and different arms and such.
Right.
But I also, one of the points that brought me from a 3 to a 4 though was the base. So on the base you have, can I get these real quick?
You want one of those?
Yeah.
You want one of these?
No, I'm good.
You want one of these?
So on the base it gives you the ability to have
Your trackers, right?
starting life, and then the other one would be if you have more than 1 or 2 or 3, that signifies which fighter it is. And with these trackers, when they take wounds and stuff, well, you put in the bloody.
It gets bloodier and bloodier as you go.
And it does. I mean, that last game you and I played, we were down to 1 wound each.
1 wound
and
each.
of course you whiffed your last roll, and I got to hammer it in there and kill you.
So he had to tell you guys as well.
That's right. What did you give on points?
I gave it a 4, and once again, that is knowing that this is literally just a card and figure game. You buy a blister, you buy a figure, you get cards with it. Cards are random. I think it's a really neat concept.
What did Alan say? There was like 10,000 different cards or something?
There's a lot of
I
different
can't believe there's
stuff
that
out there.
many, but hey, there's
But,
a lot of different weapons they could put in.
And then the fact is, you can take whatever terrain you want and play.
Yeah, it's true.
So I gave the components a 4.
Replayability. It's a miniature game. It depends on who you play. It depends on what figures you have. It depends on what cards you have. Replayability is one of those endless things with miniature games. I put it at a 5.
I gave it a 4. I like this one a lot more than some of the other miniature games because of the fact that it is hyper-violent. Go figure.
You like blood, I know.
Yeah, and it's because really we knocked out 3 games in less than an hour. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't take long.
And we were learning them when we were playing them, so
it doesn't take long to decimate a force. Now when we play them with the gangs and stuff like that, it'll probably be different, but the same. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because the mobs randomize and run around, and they can really influence a fight.
But your gang also, if you do right, your gang could just overwhelm everybody right off the rip. I mean, it's really good. So I think the replayability is high. I think it's a 4.
So what'd you give on fun?
I gave fun a 4 as well.
You were having a blast, I know.
Yeah. It's kind of like if anybody watched UFC, Forrest Griffin said, I like to get into the middle of the octagon. I don't go in with a plan. I like to get punched in the face a couple of times and then figure out what I want to do. And this
you did keep yelling. There can only be one.
there is definitely an aspect of that in this type of game.
There can be only one.
Yeah, you don't have to go in with strategy or a plan. You can actually just walk in there with a couple of beasts and say, you know what,
beat the pulp out of everybody.
I'm just going to swing away until I'm dead or not.
So I gave fun a 3. I enjoyed it, but I just felt kind of, I don't know. I think that maybe the simplification of the rules affected that I was just kind of average on it. Well, it was like when I was asking, well, if I'm standing on top of something, do I get a bonus for attacking somebody below me? It's because there's no rule for it.
Because you're a complicated little girl.
Yeah, I know. No, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed playing. It's a fun game. Was I uber excited with it? No. But was I just completely depressed and will never play again? No. I'm wholeheartedly waiting for Tim to buy 2 gangs so we can play this even more. But overall on Gangs of Rome is a 3.9.
3.9.
Almost a 4, well above average.
Oh, yeah.
I can see us playing this again, and actually we have been invited back to Discover Games, which is where we're at doing this review right now, to play this game again, which we will probably record again, so we'll probably have a few more playthroughs up in the upcoming weeks as the store ups their gang size, or Tim buys his and paints his so that we can play with them. But guys, overall score 3.9, well above average. Mm-hmm. As
Fun
always,
game.
yeah. And it was. We were down to that one wound. It was kind of like, and then you rolled to get the first attack, and I was like,
yeah, it's literally like just 2 people standing there and just
beating each other,
having each other by the collar and just wailing away until the other one drops. Except one of you might have a spear, or a sword,
or a hammer. Hey, but as always, guys, support your local gaming. We are, like we said, here in Discover Games, where we do our shopping and gaming. Game on, guys.
Game on, folks.
Cuántas veces dije este amor es solo ilusión, pero al fin y al cabo yo caí con este papelón. Me envolviste con palabras que ya no